like Becca and me said, we're going to be going fundraising. Are you guys excited? Alright. So, before we go out fundraising, we're going to learn about the purpose of fundraising and kind of why we do it. Not only external-wise, but there's also a lot of internal reasons that we do fundraising. So, to give this guidance, we're actually going to be having an older brother, one of the core staff, coming up here to do it. He's really amazing. He's from France. He's really good at cooking. And yeah, he's our newest member on the core staff, but before that, he was helping out Latin America SCF, and so he has a lot of practice with young people like us. So please rise and help me welcome Francis Opa!
Okay, are you ready to go fundraising? Okay, that's my lecture. So, the song goes, you know, the last song we sing, "How shall I attend him who is calling to me?" So I think this is our opportunity to think about how can I attend him? How shall I attend him who is calling to me? So this is our, in a sense, our call. And so I want to talk to you about the purpose of fundraising. But before that, I would like to talk about myself. So obviously, you know where I'm from. My accent, I'm from France. And I was born in one city called Perpignan. It's very beautiful. It's South France. And very warm, lot of palm trees, beautiful. It's a Mediterranean Sea. So it's very nice. Very close to the French Riviera. And this is, by the coast, we have a lot of, this is all wine. So it's a place where we grow a lot of wine country, and we have also the sea, but you drive 1 hour and you have the mountain, you can ski, beautiful ski resort also. So it's this area is very amazing because you can, in the same day if you want, you can ski, you can go snow, ski and have fun, and then you can go to the beach also. So you can both. you can experience both. And I want to show you where it is. So it's very like between Spain and Italy, then you have France, and I'm right by the on the seaside. So it's very beautiful. Now today I was talking with one brother, and something is not in France is wherever you go, you drive 1 hour, 2 hours, you always have different sceneries. We have like beautiful mountains, we have ocean, we have seas, even little desert also. We have all kind of sceneries, volcano. So it's very nice place to go to visit. And then actually, one time one person asked me, a very funny story. He asked me, "Where are you from?" So obviously I didn't say to him I'm from France right away. So I told him, actually I'm from a country between Spain and Italy, very close to Germany. So I'm waiting for his answer. He's thinking, and he goes, "You're from Cuba!" Cuba! So I was almost shocked. I never expected this answer, Cuba. So I was like, Cuba, and then I just burst into tears. I couldn't. And this poor guy was looking at me, and I couldn't stop to laugh. So anyway, that was very funny. So this is my parents. This is when I'm 21 years old. So my mother, my father. So yeah, I was at the time I was working. This is the I was working in Sydney, in Australia. So this was at the top of the Sydney Tower. There's a restaurant, and my father was, he was not retired, but he was, I think, both really in my life of faith, actually, if I'm here, actually because actually of them. One of the reasons because of them, because actually my mother, she kind of helped me to move to Australia, and my father also helped me in many ways and kind of protect me when I joined. I almost got kind of took away the program by people, but because my father was kind of head of the FBI in France, like top, and then somehow he kind of protect me. He could have just grabbed me. He had so much power and police and working with the American FBI. They could have just taken me, but somehow my father kind of can protect me. Say no, let him do what he wants to do. So because of my parents, I feel really I'm so grateful for them. And this is my brother and my father when a bit more older. My father retired. My brother, actually very interesting because he was working. He was part of the Green Beret in France, kind of very like special force, and then actually he almost became the bodyguard of the president. But because of in military there's always some kind of, you have to go through your hierarchy, your superior. Some they didn't want to let him go, so eventually he resigned from the military and became, he did his PhD in Australia and got his PhD in business, and now he's teaching at the university in South France. He's teaching business. So yeah, and my father really can really support always us. So what is famous in our region? We're something very. If you go there, you must try it. This is very, 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 very good. Are you ready? Should I press? Ooh, grilled snails! So if you eat this one, if you eat grilled snails, yeah, you're part of the family. So we have, each region in France has some very special food. So this is one of the. So I can explain to you later on this how you prepare, because it's all a tradition, almost like it's weeks and weeks and weeks of preparation. So, and then this is my hobby. Yeah, in south of France, where we rugby is very, very big thing. Even a few years ago, they became my city where I'm from. They became a champion of the whole country. And so it's what I play about 10 years, from the very age 5 until I was 18 years old. I play rugby, so I was the guy, taking the ball, and it's called number 9, and the guy put the ball, take the ball and pass. Usually he's a very small guy, so I was quite small, so I always stick with the big guy, but they always protect me, so I was always in good shape. And I love kayaking. I love to do kayaks, and also a few days ago, Todik explained I love to go pick up mushrooms, and wherever I pick up mushrooms, fruits, and go to catch crawfish and mussels, I really love to, and I get really excited with this. And also fishing. I spent some time in Alaska, and so I did a lot of fishing over there. So this is also one part of mine. And also I did some martial art. Just recently I did some, like 1 year I was with mixed martial art. I was really having a lot of fun. So it is really what I like to do. I did some Muay Thai and Kung Fu and some different martial arts. And then, so this is, I was at a time that I became, after my school, I became a cook. So I was about 15 years old. So I did very young age, 15 years old, I became a cook. And this restaurant was the top restaurant in my area. It was very amazing. The guy was, the chef was very amazing, very famous. So somehow I learned from him, and then you know, I spent about 3 years learning, and then when I was 18, then I graduated from culinary, and then I began my journey. So at the age of 18, I decided, okay, I'm going to go to the military. So I applied for the Air Force, and because I came from this amazing restaurant, right away they picked me up, and I was the private cook for the general. But not just like a general, he was a general like commanding all the French Blue Angel, you know, those who make demonstration. It was like 5-star restaurant. So actually I was somehow privileged to go and fly because I was so close to the general. So a few times I went to this. This is something I felt amazing. And so even in my career, I became the. I could receive a lot of blessings being working. I became the private cook for the Prime Minister of Australia, and I also, in my age 22, I made to attend this is very difficult. It's a world contest for the young cook in the world. You compete with the best in the world. So I did this one, and also I was catering for the French lady, for the president. And my goal actually was to work for the White House. So actually when I joined, the time I joined, the general that was working, I was working with him, became he was asked to go to Washington, D.C., the White House to work. And then he called me, I called him, he called me, and he asked me, please come and work with me again. So it was like a big decision. What should I do? Should I join? Or should I work at the White House? So it was like big thing for me. But anyway, I make my choice. So I make this crazy guy. This is my spiritual father. So yeah, I'm so grateful to him. Yeah, his name is Yoshi. He's living in San Francisco. Yoshi. So actually, I spent so many time with him. He's my spiritual father, but he was my team leader for many years. So I really thank him because I gave him so much hard time. Oh my goodness. I really give him hard time. But you know, he was always giving, always loving, and I was amazed how much. So this is me when I just joined. That was my first 21-day workshop. So this is you know, the first time I joined September 1st, 1989. So this is really like 24 years, 23 years ago, just a few days ago. So really like. Yeah, also I didn't enjoy just because I'm not the person who really understood divine principle. You know, I didn't join because of divine principle. I really didn't understand. But I felt so much the love of the old stuff. It's just like, oh, I couldn't. It was too much. The love I received from the staff, and eventually, step by step, I start to understand. So anyway, even though you don't understand God's words, it doesn't matter at the time. You know, once you really into it, you invest. Eventually, you can start to step by step. So that's what I feel. I start to understand God's words and more. And then this is one of my amazing also brother. His name is Alesh, and through him also I really kind of. There's some people in your life that really kind of help you to transform in a way where you struggle a lot. You really go through a lot of, you will see in a fundraising, when you go fundraising, sometimes you really reach your limitation, you really struggle. But then you realize actually through this struggle, because of this, I can really appreciate much more. I can really meet God. I can really feel God much more. So I felt he challenged me so much. it really challenged me a lot, but I think through this experience I became more closer and closer to God. And this is an amazing crazy guy also. I don't know if you recognize him.
Baby pack!
Also, I went through a lot, we struggled a lot in a young age.
Oh my God.
So we had a lot of fundraising together. So this is my family, my wife and 5 children. So 3 of them were born in Brazil. We spent about 6 years helping the STF over there, and then 2 were born in Kodiak, Alaska. So yeah, this is really a blessing from God, and with our 2 parents, you know, there's no way I can have such a family. I will be probably lost somewhere. So with that 2 parents, never I can have this amazing family. I'm amazed. With my wife. And then anyway, you know, in my heart, you know, I really love cooking. So you know, I could cook for these amazing people, you know, very famous people, actors and presidents, and I cooked for the Harlems a few times, talk with them, drink with them, you know, we have a party together. Many people, you know, I can cook for them or spend some time with them, you know, like musicians. But the thing, you know, I've felt the most is, you know, I really want to serve, you know, presidents, but somehow, you know, to serve 2 parents, there was something that I was really hoping. So my dream come through. Wait, this is a different photo. This is when I was doing some cooking. I went back to school after Brazil, and I want to get a degree in pastry. So this is what I did. It's all in sugar, all pure sugar, everything in sugar, and then this is also all sugar. So I really love working with sugar, chocolate. But the thing mostly what made me, I could make cake for 2 parents in Kodiak. So it's really for me. There's nothing I've done in my life, you know, to make cake for 2 parents. I felt that's it. Now I don't need to do anything else. 2 times I make cake. That's it. So I felt really fulfilled because I can serve 2 parents. So I realized, you know, attendance. We're in the age of attendance. Attending 2 parents is the most precious thing you can ever do in your life. To attend 2 parents, and I really felt, you know. Actually, I lost the desire to cook or to bake because I felt, what's the point anyway? Because you know, I'm working with for the Messiah. Now, what's the point? But then I realized, you know, attendance, especially serving 2 parents, I felt in my life a few times when I could do this to 2 parents. Is nothing else more precious than to attend 2 parents. So yeah, I think in our lifetime. God give us, you know, this opportunity. Each one of us, in our different skills or we can attend 2 parents, we can serve 2 parents. Each one of us has the blessing from God, and then I think each one of us has some time to attend 2 parents. So anyway, I want to talk now about the purpose of fundraising, because you know, in attending God, you know, I believe in Heavenly Father give us, you know, some time, and your time is now. I really believe your time is now. So my God is calling you, and you all decide to come here, and you know, somehow Heavenly Father designed amazing ship here. Honestly, I've been working with SCF from the beginning, 2001, and went pioneering in Latin America. And I went back to study in 2009 until I came back recently. And the thing, what the transformation in GPA from 10 years ago, it's amazing. You won't believe how amazing the program is right now. Yeah, in terms of all the organization, the program itself, it's amazing. The amount of love and care and prayer, and it's really beyond words, beyond imagination. How much investment in the program, especially when you see from the position of parents, from the position of creating and making things better and better and better. Then you see, wow, the program is really God is really involved, because just not one, but there's so many different unique brothers and sisters working under the guidance of engineering of the true family. So really, we are really, in a sense, really protected by God, really embraced by God. So I really believe that God gives us different models, either fundraising or divine principle, or oversee, or the education for third. Everything really, God really prepared. But the thing is, unless you really trust 100%, it's very difficult to, each one of you will have probably different experience. But the trusting is really the key of really having, trusting that God prepared this, and it's really, in a sense, something that God cannot do for you. You have to really believe and trust God. So the purpose of fundraising, the purpose is the reason for which something exists and is done or made. There's some purpose. If fundraising is there, there's some meaning why. Why fundraising is a very precious time for you. How God can, in a sense, work in your life. So this very interesting picture. This young girl, she's walking on the this brace, this ashes. Cool. Do you think it's easy to do this? If I tell you, okay, let's do a walk. Take out your shoes and listen. We make a fine and we do this. Okay, let's go. Can you do this? It's very almost like, what? I have to do this? You're crazy. But actually people do this. Amazing. Can you imagine they walk on the fire? And nothing like it, just walking. So in some culture, fire walking is part of a religious ritual. In America, fire walking is a part of a new age, a religion, self-empowering, motivational activities. So you see, they're seeing not just as walking on the fire, but they really see as a spiritual education. And there should be some education. There should be some in a sense, empower motivational activity beyond walking on the fire. So in a sense, in the same way, fundraising we are not just selling a product. There's very deep meaning beyond the fundraising. And then also there's some I would say a culture in fundraising that once you really inherit this culture of living for the sake of others, then really you can really understand and you can really feel the meaning of fundraising, the purpose of fundraising. So I see it for me, fundraising as really like a spiritual education. And I've been funding for many years, and I went through from my first time fundraising. I spent maybe 2 or 3 hours in the bathroom. I didn't want to go out. I was so scared. That was my first experience fundraising, just hiding in the bathroom, in the mirror and watching. Can I do this? Can I do this? I cannot do this. I was so scared. So I spent my first few hours inside the bathroom. This is how I began, and then step by step, I kind of break the ice. Eventually, after some time, I really realized, wow, fundraising is amazing. I really learned especially about myself, and how God is working through me. And really I could discover God through this. So this is the product that we sell. So actually, if you see from just the product viewpoint, I remember my first time I saw my product. It was some laser prints, metal etching. I saw the product. I said, "What? This is so ugly. I don't want to sell this." I couldn't believe how come people can sell such a thing. This is so ugly. And then eventually I came to really love it. I came to love the product. Like I was sleeping with the product. I was trying. I tried to really, and then eventually I came to love the product. And then the laser print became my favorite product, and really breaking through and raising up the bars. We used to sell for $5. Eventually, I initiate to sell from $10 to $15 and $20. So we kind of raise up the bar. But for me, it took me really some time to understand that I'm not just selling product. Actually, I'm selling myself. I'm saying, it's not about the product. It's really about me, me being the object of God. And through me, actually, people are really inspired to buy. I realize it's not the product itself. It's really me being the object of God. And through me, people are inspired. I'm like become able. Through me, people are inspired. So it's all about how I can develop my relationship with God. And once I develop my relationship with God, and then amazing, I found out just people naturally, they really want to buy from you. So I went through all kind of, arranging my product and making maybe if I put the product that way, I can make more sales. If I put the product on the left side, on the right side, center, to try to find a way, it doesn't work. I realize it's all about how I can make my relationship with God. And through this, really, I felt the people really responding because they feel the love of God through me. So it's John 1 John 4:18. In love, there is no fear. So probably this is the first thing I felt, and I'm sure. Who did fundraising here? Okay. Who didn't do fundraising here? Never. So almost about 10. Okay, so most of you did fundraising. So how did you feel the first time? The really first time, how did you feel? Exciting? Wow. Yeah. Who felt a lot of fear and scare, doesn't want to go? Yeah, okay. I felt that way. Very scared, so in a sense, in love there is no fear. Amazing, once there is love. With love, you can do whatever you want. If it's the principal things, you can conquer everything with love. So in a sense, doubt and fear, it's really when you doubt, when you have fear, you don't really trust yourself, you don't trust God. But once you really put yourself, God is working through you, then automatically you feel so much faith and hope and especially love and give. So in a sense, the fundraising is very much, once you're in the team, it's very much about your relationship with your team leader, the relationship with your brothers and sisters in a van, the relationship with the customer. It's all about how you relate with each other, your relationship with God, so vertical and horizontal. So you have to really, in a sense, build this relationship centering on God's words, and centering on the heart, the love. So I love this word. It's 1 Corinthians 13:4-8. Actually, I like to put. I put my name. I'm going to read. This. Okay, Francis is patient. Francis is kind. Yeah, sometimes. He does not envy. Actually, many times I do. He does not boast. He's not proud. I'm very proud. That was really for me a striking point. My proud. My arrogance, proud. He's not rude. Francis is not self-seeking. Francis is not easily angered. I'm very short-tempered. If you know me, if you know me, now it's okay. I get better and better. But you see me 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, I get so mad for nothing. Little things I get very mad. So it's what God is really really helping me. So Francis does not keep record of the wrongs.
Comment on that?
That's also, I remember many times, you did this to me 10 years ago. I remember. I remember what you did to me. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails. So, in a sense, through the fundraising, through my life of faith, Father gave me the tools to overcome all these things. Still, I have my work, but I can see if I check all those things actually. Because of true plans, because of the principle, somehow I can see, wow, I make so much progress. If I never meet true plans, then I could never overcome this. I could not. Still, I have a lot of work to do, but because of true plans, because of our faith, then I feel, I can check. Okay, this is I'm getting better on this. I'm getting better on that. I'm getting better on that. I'm checking and improving. So I'd like to again say the purpose and mission of GPA. So GPA is the Academy to inspire and empower young people to become Generation Peace by discovering God, cultivating personal identity, establishing a unification lifestyle, creating a culture of heart, preparing for future success. So actually, through the fundraising, same. It's all connected. Through the fundraising, one inside-out perspective. Why we are fundraising, inside-out perspective, to experiencing God's heart. 3, developing character. 4, learn to gain spiritual help. And 5, social impact. Represent. So God will give you amazing time through the fundraising to in a sense, develop this chance. So, in a sense, the inside our perspective on life, fundraising is the quickest, most radical way to experience God. Essentially, it's up to me. Once you go out on the front line, it's pretty much up to you. What you do during the day is very much up to you. Your goal setting, your relationship with God is all up to you. God give you, in a sense, the fundraising is designed to give you everything you need to develop, but still, it's pretty much up to you. So, if you are not inspired, confident, sincere, commit, you'll get shoe up. That's truly true. So it's about, in a sense, in a fundraising, we are, in a sense, you're in a team, and you really, each one of you really actually, you're put in a team with people that somehow you never expect you'll be with. And once you start to work with them, you realize, oh my gosh, wow, I'm like this, and then you start to see your true self. And somehow, the team leaders is with you, is really, in a sense, struggle with him, with her to unite, or to something you don't know why. Could be your best friend, but some kind of thing come out from yourself, and this kind of fight inside, and then you start to realize actually that there's some universal law there, and as more as you study God's words, as you study divine principle, you start to understand more deeply how to, in a sense, how to create a beautiful relationship within your team leader, and through this, really, you get inspired. God really prepared. Everything's prepared through the morning service, through the team meetings, through the daily activities, and then so in a sense, be inspired. It's very key in fundraising. You be inspired and confident. God will walk through you. Absolutely, God will walk through you. God needs you at that time. You are like God's body. God needs you. So if you have this kind of confidence, then really you feel really missing power from God. Sincere, committed, and then you can really move forward. And then a change of attitude, of motivation or effort will be soon followed by a change in the spiritual environment and substantial result. So as you see your mindset is changing, and then actually the result will come. As you in a sense start to inherit, start to kind of connect with God's words, and overcome the challenge, the limitation, sanction on God's words, and then your results start to change, and your relationship with God become more deeper, and you really realize, wow, God is real in my life. God is real in me. So, about motivation, you may not have any kind of motivation to go fundraising. You may feel, oh my gosh, I have to go fundraising. And from the moment you have to go out, you may feel, oh, I have to go fundraising. How can I go fundraising? But my suggestion to you, just don't think, just do it. Just go. Motivation will come eventually. As you start, as you jump into, then eventually you will see the power coming through you. But if you hesitate, and Father say, if you hesitate, you truly die. Don't hesitate. Just do it. So it says this kind of doing spirit. Eventually, after that, as you in a sense go out, and then your desire will come more quicker, and then your motivation also will change. You are most likely to act yourself into feeling than feel yourself into action. So act, whatever it is, you should do it. Just do it. Just go. And then God will help you. So develop a pattern for success. So it's what now Kimi explained about setting goal and the importance of goal. So this is really, in a sense, the key of your success is constantly you have to make goals. A daily goal, weekly goal, monthly goal, and reflecting how your day goes. And by developing this kind of habit in yourself, then naturally you can feel you really become more easy. You feel less really you can really start to trust God. You trust God. You trust yourself, and you develop this pattern centered on the goal, and then thing becomes much more clear in the fundraising. So prepare internally and externally. So there's a preparation, preparing for your product, preparing internally through study, to pray. All of these are very essential for you to really get the best every day, internally and externally preparing. And invest yourself. This is very, as you invest, power comes as you invest. You invest yourself, even though, sometimes you have to invest, no result come, but there's some reason why. So I will talk more in detail. When you invest and nothing comes, then there's some really, God is really teaching us something as we invest, nothing comes. This is exactly what God went through for thousands and thousands of years. God invest, saw some results, and everything taken away. And one of my kind of dear experiences I had one time. I was investing in one office building, and really the day was a very amazing day. Wherever office I went, people just bought. It was so good. And then at one point I met the security guard, and then he brought me to every office I went and asked me to return the product. Yeah, that was for me so humiliating. I felt so humiliated because he came to each office. Oh, this person is doing something illegal. Okay, here, your check back. He let me give all my, and I felt so, you won't believe how humiliated I felt because people trust me, you know. And then when the security, they thought I was a thief, I was someone that, and I went like, oh my gosh, you know, so, it was so tough. But then I realized this is what God went through, you know. God went through such kind of circumstance where he was humiliated so much. God, true parents was so humiliated so many times. And even Father brought amazing result, still humiliated, still put in prison. God was brought everything to the earth, everything that we have, God brought, but somehow Satan stole everything and humiliated God. And then through this experience, I really thought, wow, I can come to more closer to understand how God, how the true parents. And then actually, I kind of course, it was tough, but I can pray and I offer to God, and and then God really give me a more deeper understanding about His heart, true parents' heart, and then I felt that, and then to me was this kind of experience you never forget in your life, and this kind of experience I will never forget, because through this I could come to God's heart more closer, more deeper, come to true parents' heart more closer, more deeper. Cannot teach anything in a school or in a lecture, no way. I could never have learned this in a lecture. But through the fundraising, through this experience, go through, for me to be humiliated, this really helped me. To be humiliated and to connect this humiliation to God and true parents, I felt really close to God. So it's like, please invest yourself every day. Try to really find a way how to invest, even though you feel so challenged or tired, or just find a way to really keep investing. And in many years of my experience, the time I almost give up. I push myself a little more. Is where I make amazing results. I make big results. The moment I was almost giving up, I thought that's it. But I just went to the next house. I went to the next business. I approached another car. When almost I want to give up. Things where I make the result. I make amazing people. So at that time, you'll see the time where you want to give up. It's the time where God is really, He really wants to give you so much, because it's the time where, and when you want to give up, is where the blessing is right there. He will wait. God will, in a sense, to see how much I can trust this person, how much I can trust him. So when you feel down, when you feel you don't want to do anymore, then you really can go over this. Then you meet God. You can really understand, touch God's heart. So power of investing. Evaluate and claim the victory. Evaluate yourself and claim. You have to claim your victory. And your victories belong to you. And we claim it and celebrate the victory together with your team. Celebrate. It's very important to claim, evaluate, and celebrate. A new start, redetermination. So you will have every week, you have a new start where you discuss with your team leader. You have a team meeting, and So you somehow reevaluate yourself, making you start. So all design. So for the training you are getting here will never be obtained at any university. So number 2, to experience God's heart. So life on a mobile fundraising team is training to develop a relationship with God for eternity. So this is your time, and through this life, on fundraising. Amazing, God knows exactly the time, what you need, so He will prepare the people for you, the customer that you meet. They really got prepared what you need to hear, what you need to get prepared. So on the MFT, you can meet God. When you go out to the street with a sincere, honest heart, then God will speak to you. So I have countless testimony where I felt God speaking to me directly. One time, my team leader gave a morning service about God can speak to anybody. Anybody God can speak. Then I'm doing this area somewhere, and at that time we were doing house to house. So I'm approaching one house, almost, but this house looked like all broken. And I thought maybe no one lived there, so I kind of skip the house and go to another house. And then this little child, this child on the bike come to me and can scold me. Hey, what are you doing? Why you don't go to my house? And so he spoke to me in a way like, I thought, what? How come he's talking to me in that way? He kind of scolded me almost. So and then, boom, morning service came to my mind. You have to listen. God can speak to anybody. And somehow, when I saw this little kid, this age, and kind of scolding me, it can just flash in my mind. So I went to this house, and this lady, she opened the door, and she said, "Whoa, are you here?" And she ran to the house and brought $100 bill. I didn't say anything. And she just gave me $100 bill, and she said, "I have a dream about you coming to my house. Here, what do you have?" And she bought, and she gave me $100. She bought something, and she left. I was like, "What?" I was like, "Oh my gosh!" That's not the world, So, but I realized if I didn't have this kind of morning service, through my team leader, this kind of education, I would have just, "What do you want, little kid?" Kind of very arrogant. But no, I just don't even listen to him. But these kind of words just flash my mind. And I really believe God worked through my team leader at that time. Really kind of helping me to understand how God's worked through me. And then after that, when I gave my testimony I really felt, wow, God is really working through my team leader. I really, amazing. Yeah, I felt really God. So then, so it's like for thousands of years, our heavenly parents have been investing into humankind, believing and trusting us, loving us, forgiving us, enduring pain of rejection, enemy, friends, mockery, yet showing unchanging and unconditional heart. Actually, God, have invested into mankind. So Sam, we as in a sense fundraiser, we are in a sense the able. We are somehow in a position where Sam, we have to invest in a customer. Sam will be rejected, will be misunderstood. But somehow through this we can understand God's heart much better. Because we go through this kind of like God went through, then we somehow as a fundraiser we go through this we may be kicked out from parking lot. We may be, there's also so many experiences where people really, they really welcome you like you're like a saint. Wow, they dream about you. They have so many testimonies, dream about you, and they really see God through you. They inspire, and then they you won't believe how much seed you plant in each one. Each one, the people that you meet, You put something, you even don't know. You put something they will never forget. And I'll read after that some testimony from customers. Now we have the internet, and nowadays, my days was less. Now we have the internet. They can send some message, so we have some very cool letters from customers. So we can really transform a change. Yeah. You put something, you don't know, but you really put something in their heart. You plant some seed, love seed, in their heart. So when you experience rejection after rejection, all of a sudden you start to weep. But those are not your tears. This is from Father's words. Rather, God is crying through you. When the people are sympathetic to you and truly understand your mission, you inwardly feel uplifting joy. But that joy deep inside your heart is not your joy, but is God's joy. You can reach this kind of soul. You feel really this is not your God joy. God is so inspired through you. So unless you move about doing things, you cannot feel the air. Air is all around you, but it is invisible. Only when you run along the road do you feel the wind coming against you. That's how I feel God. If you really want to know God, go out to the front line, fighting, moving about. So it's like the same, like pray. Think about pray. You can do pray. You can go, outside on a chapel. You can pray, or you can pray in your sleeping bag. You can lay your sleeping bag, pray in your sleeping bag. What do you think, which prayer will be better? In your sleeping bag, or outside, or in a chapel? Yeah, I think so too. I think in a sleeping bag, I think sooner or later, soon it's too nice, too cozy, too comfortable, too warm. Eventually your body, there's some chemical, your body has to follow this. One is warm, cozy, and then you feel so comfortable, and slowly, boom, and then you don't realize you fell asleep. But you go outside, you pray, you walk, and you go to the chapel, you feel the Spirit, you pray. Your prayer will be so different from praying in the sleeping bag. So same thing, to really feel God, understand God, the best way is when you're on the front line. Fundraising, witnessing, service project. Be in the wilderness outside, in the nature. You can meet God in nature, talking to the tree, embracing the trees, walking. You can really feel God. So develop your character. Unless you can conquer yourself, there will be no perfection of the universe. If someone speaks harshly to you, do not try to fight back, but fight inside yours. Fight yourself instead. So Father's motto, when Father was very young, first I have to master myself before I can become master of the universe. I have to be master of myself. So in a sense, through the fundraising, you can really start to conquer yourself. All those experiences you have every day, you can really digest and become very strong internally. So develop a character, example of such quality: public-mindedness, humility, appreciation, gratitude, ability to self-reflect, challenging limitation, goal setting, focus and punctuality are due for this. Sacrifice and serving, self-discipline, cooperation and teamwork, emotional resilience, perseverance, never give up spirit, flexibility and capacity to love others and digest different circumstances. Learn to love others beyond culture, race, and nationality. So you see all those points. When I first joined, I could see, for instance, my friends in history, did a lot of terrible things. We colonized many countries, in Africa. We have so many colonies around the world, always fighting, especially our best or our number one fighting with was the British. So we love to fight with British. So we always try to fight and try to get countries around the British. So that was, my ancestry is really, we colonized, we did many terrible things. So I realized when I fundraising, I have such a hard time with black people. I don't know why. I saw black people, I felt, I don't like that. It was very difficult, but I felt always very uneasy to be around black people. Then one time I decided, okay, I have to overcome this. Then I had some inspiration. Okay, I'm going to take one black person and I'm going to confess to him everything I have, my thought. And I'm going to say sorry for him, and that's it. So eventually I found one black person. I said, I have to say something to you. Please listen to me. I'm so sorry. Please listen. Black people, when I see you, I feel so difficult and so much racism. And I explained to you everything. And she was listening. I said, I'm so sorry, but I know that's not me. And I'm so sorry for what my country did to all those colonies in Africa, and I'm so sorry. And she was listening, and I was so serious. But then, after that, some kind of miracle inside me happened. Like, I felt totally free, And after that, I didn't have anything. Just I felt so liberated to kind of share everything that was inside me. I just sit, and she was listening. And then she was fine. I thought maybe she would kill me, but she was fine. But then I realized after that, wow, amazing power of repentance, also a confession, and I transform myself. So learning to love others beyond culture, race, and nationality, surely you can really go through Okay, not only in sport, but in everything in life. If you want to be successful, generate a lot of blessing and receive God's blessing, you have to be internally strong. You have to be able to persevere when other people are going to quit. You have to be able to digest difficulties when others want to give up. That's what distinguishes a champion from someone who is just so-so. So as I say, the time you want to give up is the time where almost you get a blessing. I can tell you one little story, on a little story. I'm out of time. I didn't. Okay, yeah,
Keep on going.
Yeah, okay. One little story, it's the time I reached my limitation. I was so tired. It was fun. I found it all day, and we went into very late during the blitz, and I felt I can't even walk. I was so tired. So tired, I was like, almost giving up. Then I kind of literally push myself to approach the last person. And this person was in subway, sitting, eating his sandwich, and I approached him, hey, I'm doing fundraising. And this person can look at my product, look at me, I want to buy. He said, I want to buy. Then stand up, and then went outside the subway and run to the machine, to the ATM machine. I was like, what is that? And he not just run, but like, and then running. And he went to I could see the ATM machine. It was not too far. It was right there, and he ran to the ATM. I was like, what is that? That's good. What is that? I was like, he just wake me up. I was like, whoa. So I went, and he took, he went to the machine and just no words, she, how much? And then run and bought product. It's like, wow. Something like you cannot even explain. It's really spiritual. So, but at the time, I was like, that's it, I can't do anymore. But that's just one more push. And then I felt, wow, amazing. So, this kind of thing, once you persevere, you can meet God also. You go through your limitation, internally, limitation, and then eventually you can really become strong internally. So, also learn to gain spiritual health. Flower sellers, before going out selling flowers, pray hard that previous night, and you will see that people climb to you willing to buy a flower. So I can testify also this is very true. You pray for people, then people will really respond. You pray for your area, for the people will respond. And then you want to hear one more testimony about about the amazing spiritual world working? Kind of crazy story. I mean, I think someone is from Puerto Rico, eh?
What?
Michelle is from Puerto Rico. Yeah, it was one of these Caribbean islands. Puerto Rico. And then I was having such a hard time, you won't believe. Because everything was, I was basically alone, fundraising. At that time, we could go alone. I was alone, and everything was like, there's a fence everywhere. Fence everywhere, and then like, it's not like free, you can run, this fence everywhere, so you feel like really like, everything's like a jail. You knock on you cannot go to the store freely, you have to ring the bell, and they check, they open, they check, and immediately you get permission, you can enter to the shop. It's a shop by shop. Like this is very tough. So I was dying, so, such a hard time. But then I was doing always the same area, same area, same restaurant. And I was really having a hard time, but I was just keep investing. And then one day, I go to this restaurant, or this bar restaurant, and this guy was drinking something, and I approached him. Hi, yeah, my name is Francis, and then he was drinking, and then he look at me and look at my face, and he started to scream. Ah! It's like, what? He started to scream like crazy. I was like, whoa, what's going on? And then the people start to look, and he was like, don't approach me, don't approach me. And then and I asked him, sir, are you okay? He said, no, don't come close to me. And then eventually he can calm down. And he told me, okay, you have to promise, I'm going to get your product, but you have to promise something. So I said, yes, sir, what's happening? He said, okay, during the night you come to my dream, so you have to promise to me, because every night you come and chase away my dream, so promise to me that you stop to chase me away in my dream, so I'll buy your product, okay? So I said, okay. I didn't know what he was talking about, but I was like, oh my gosh, every night I was trying to catch him. You have to buy my product, you have to buy my product. When he really couldn't sleep, so when he saw me, he was like, oh my gosh, this guy is never giving up. Then eventually he bought the product and made me promise, okay, I'll buy, but don't come back to my dream, okay? Okay. So definitely spiritual world, Spiritual world. So in the law of the spiritual world, how spiritual world work. So if you go out, the spiritual world will lead you. You will discover the feeling of breaking through. You will become selfless, feeling the power of your mind and body putting together in harmony. So the key words for this kind of life is respect. And respect all things as holy. Your product, your product is really holy. So everything, your clothing, is holy. So everything has to be you have to really respect all things around you, your product, if you come with a lot of hole in your pen and all dirty, hole everywhere, then people will think, oh my goodness, where did this guy come from? You have to really respect everything. The product, yourself, respect all men as holy. Your brothers and sisters, even the people that you meet, even though they give you some rejection, but still, you can see them as they are holy sons and daughters of God. You can see them with your spiritual eyes as sons and daughters of God. Then this how spiritual world work. Respect yourself as a holy person. Respect your mind as holy. Respect your body as holy. How you treat your body. Eat well. Don't eat junk food. Really eat well. Really respect your body. Receive a lot of God's words a lot. Then really, you're holy men and women of God. So you have to think that way. Respect and pay deep respect all people, no matter what kind of person they may be. You know, sometimes people will give you a hard time, but you don't know. They may have a very hard time in their life, you know. They may, you know, some of them may lose their brothers and sisters, their parents, their sons and daughters. They may lose their jobs, so they, you know, you don't know why they're in bad mood. So, you know, they may have some meaning why, you don't know. But if you can see or if you can think, you know, no matter what they, you know, they really respect them, every people, and this hospital will work. And then you must push yourself to develop those attitudes. You must push yourself to develop these attitudes. Then the spirit world must descend to assist you. The spirit world is using so many channels by which to calm down and participate in God's providence. They will choose the best one to use you first. So they're, in a sense, they're watching how you live every day. So they're like, okay, I'll bet on you. And they, you know, they believe you. They see your lifestyle, so they really want you win. And you represent. So who are we? Who are we? Generation Peace at your service. But you think we are Generation Peace. And then we can really empower ourselves and empower others. And this is some letters, a letter from a lady. She saw a fundraiser. So this was put on the internet, on the emails. I would like to say I was impressed with a young lady who represents the organization today. She inspired me, and I'm so glad my daughter was able to see her. She was out in the cold weather supporting this organization. It reinforces the things she is learning at a Christian school. Thank you, Miyuki Maeda. Keep smiling and remember to stay warm. Smile. December 13th, say Mary Cloud. Amazing, huh? So this is how you impact. You don't know, but really, you can really impact others' life. Another one. Your representative here in McLean of Ohio deserves special recognition for gracious patience as she carried out her mission today. Miss McLean was in Kingston, Virginia this morning, soliciting donations as she approached my car. Her joyful exuberance was contagious, and effective in securing a modest contribution, done by art. Huh? Amazing, huh? A joyful exuberance. You know? She didn't give a spell, no, like, she was so joyful, so, and this makes really a difference. You know? That's what people can see. So I recommend you, in GPA during this fundraising, please test God. You have to test God, the spiritual world that's really walking through. A time to put your faith in God to the test. You can say to God, hey God, okay, I'm going to challenge you now, okay? Spiritual world, I'm going to challenge you. Really, are you a real God? Let me see you exist or not. You can challenge him, okay? You can. And you will see how much God is really there. But you can challenge him. You say, even if you don't really feel God so much, I don't feel you. Let me see if you're real, God. I want to see if you're real. This is my time. And then you will see how God can challenge him. Okay, you ready? Are you ready? Okay. Okay, so let's go! And to conclude, the life you are living now is my workshop for your training you to transform the world. Thank you.
Ready to go fundraising now? All right, thank you, Krista. So right now we're actually going to take a 10-minute break for our next talk.
It's interesting, right? Mostly it's done in Manhattan Center. Okay, so let's let's talk about safety. That music video was nothing to do with the safety. Okay? Yeah. You guys okay? You guys awake? Okay. If you guys are awake, that video served its purpose. That's good. All right. So let's talk about music. No. Let's talk about safety. There will be a talk about music actually when you guys come back from Manhattan Center. David Eaton will be here, the conductor for New York City Symphony. And Uncle Jerry will be here. He will be talking about music from unification thought standpoint. And I'll be talking a little bit more about music as well. Okay, but we'll be talking about safety. Okay, now, what your moms and dads worries you being on GPA? What do you think? What are they really worried about? They're worried about your health, and they're worried about your safety. Don't you think so? Yeah. They know you're going to struggle. They know you're going to face difficulties and limitations. And also they know if you invest at the end of this program, you will break through and you will claim your victories. I promise you that. But you have to invest yourself in this program. Okay, and you have to stay healthy and you have to stay safe. So safety is a big concern. The GPA, we have a motto, absolute safety. It came from Heavenly Father through our director, Mr. Roland Platt. Okay, absolute safety. So we have to make our effort, conscientious effort, to keep ourselves safety on the road, especially. Everywhere, but on the road, especially. Now, safety is actually teamwork. Not just team captains, team leaders, and drivers' responsibility. You're part of safety as well. They need your help. They need your support to make everything safe. Do you agree? Yeah, you actually play a big role, important role in safety. And we're going to get into that a little bit more. Okay? I want to show you a video soon. It's about danger of distracted driving. Now, in GPA lifestyle on the road, your van will be your living room, your prayer room, your dining room, your bedroom. It's everything. No, not bathroom. No, don't go there. Don't go there. Yeah. So, and it's tight space, and you'll be eating, your lunch while you're driving. Your team leader's driving, and everybody's, can you pass that barbecue sauce? Can you pass me this and that? And the team leader has to drive, And there's a lot of distractions. Yeah? But I want to show you this video so that we are all in the same page, that we can all support team leaders, drivers, and we can create a better environment, safer environment for all of us. Okay, Victor, you ready? Okay, this is about 25 minutes long. If you become a little sleepy, it's okay to stand up. Okay, let's do this. think? It's a little heavy, yeah? But safety is serious, everybody. And you can actually contribute to make it safer for entire team, of course for your team leaders. What are the things you think you can do to make it better, safer environment in van while you're on the road? Yes? Thank you. Thank you. That's good. So if you're in co-passenger seat, co-driver seat, and if the phone rings for team leader, please answer that phone for him or for her. Thank you. And GPS too. Learn to use GPS quickly because your team leader might need your help. Anything else? Thank you. Very good. What can you help? How can you help to make driving a little safer? Anybody? Well, what did you think about this video? Any thought? Any questions? Any comments? You guys okay? Yeah. Was it too scary? Too serious? Yeah. Yeah. We have in GPA we have driving safety pledge. What do you call this? Thank you. Thank you, second year team leaders. And this is a pledge, the series of safety rules the GPA has. And team leaders will pledge, read it, recite it every morning before you take off. And they are pledging in front of Heavenly Father and in front of you. Yeah? You follow me? So please read that when you have time. There in the binder in each vehicle. Okay? We need your help in spotting. We need you to become good spotter. What is spotter? When van backs out, needs someone to jump out and spot for the driver. Come on back, you're good, you're good. Stop. Like that. It's very helpful because 15-passenger van, it's big and long and sometimes very difficult to see what's behind you. So jump out, everybody, especially a person who is sitting in co-passenger side. Don't wait for a driver to ask you, could you jump out and spot me? Just jump out and spot it for driver. Can you guys do that? Yeah. It's big help, big help. In fact, the drivers must have spotter when they are backing out. So we need your help. And of course, if there's nobody, they have to slowly, carefully, they have to back out. Okay? So answering the cell phone or using the GPS for drivers, spotting, yes?
When the driver gets sleepy, which I assume will happen at some point, the person on the passenger or the shotgun seat needs to stay awake, just in case the driver does get sleepy, so that they can make sure the driver's always awake and focused.
Thank you. So if you're in co-driver seat, you cannot fall asleep. And if you think you're falling asleep, you have to tell your team leader, I need to be switched, please, because I'm falling asleep, and someone else can sit in co-driver seat. Yeah? And especially if you're doing a long distance trip, you can have a conversation with driver that will keep driver stimulated and awake. In city driving, if there's a lot of stops and turns, maybe having a conversation with driver probably doesn't help. It becomes kind of destructive. But long distance, it helps a lot. Yes? And sometimes in long distance trip, team leaders might have a finger food to stay awake. I eat a lot of sunflower seeds. It helps me greatly to stay awake. That's okay. Just please don't judge them. We had a brother team leader last year. A Jolly rancher worked for him. So when he was doing a long distance trip, he's just hopping a Jolly rancher. Telling him to stay awake. Coffee works for some people, it doesn't. To me, caffeine calls for something works for some people. It doesn't work for me, but it works for some people. Okay? Thank you. Good point. Please don't do dangerous things in the van. A couple of years ago, there was a brother, he used to crush an empty water bottle and pop the cap. Okay, that was fun for a couple of times, but now it was becoming dangerous. You don't know where the cap is flying to. It might hit your eye. That was disruptive. When we asked him, oh, please don't do it. Why? Well, you know why now. Anything else? Any comments, thoughts? Yes? Come on. Speak up. Share with everybody.
Okay, I guess just try not to be distracting yourself, like what Suzuki above just said, how like popping bottle caps is like a little extreme, but like try not to be too loud, because I know that when I was younger, and my dad would be taking the whole family out on a trip, and I would be in the back screaming for his attention, he would be like, somebody shut up, Michelle, because she's distracting me so bad. But yeah, so it could be pretty dangerous if like, you don't even have to be talking to the driver, but like just like if you're being too loud with your other teammates, or just like there's like music going on and you're all talking and you're all going crazy, then it's like that instant accident kind of deal. So yeah, try to make sure that you remember that your team leader is a person and he or she can get distracted as well, because they're human.
Thank you. Thank you. Guys, have fun, okay? Sometimes you can be loud, that's okay. All right, have fun. But when it comes, when you have to be a little quiet, help you team leaders and drivers, please. All right? Anything else? Good point, thank you. Yes, come on up. Please share with everybody.
For my family, whenever we do any kind of long distance traveling, we always pray to Spirit and our ancestors before leaving for safe driving.
We have many external safety procedures. For example, buckle up. Yes, everybody has to buckle up, right? Of course, all the drivers have to follow the traffic rules. No cell phone, of course. And we have to, as unificationists, we have to focus on the internal aspect also. What are the good conditions that you can make, each one of you can make, so that you can earn extra spiritual protection from Heavenly Father and all the absolute good spirits, they're surrounding you guys. Your parents did ancestor liberation ceremony, ancestor blessing ceremony. How many of you been to Champion? Yeah, many of you. And I assure you, tens of thousands of absolute good spirits, they're your ancestors. They are with you. Do you know that? Have you seen them in pictures, photos? We see them all the time in our pictures. Okay? They want to hang out with you. They want to hang out with second gens, young unificationists. Okay? So please pray. Prayer is very important. What other things that you think you can do to that good conditions that you can make to earn extra spiritual protections? What do you think? Keep the van clean. Thank you. It's true. It's true. True Father said, if you keep your environment clean and organized, good spirit world will come down and dwell. As you? Taemonim said that many times in Chongpin too, right? It's no secret. So there will be 10 minutes cleaning time after breakfast on the road. You can clean, take your trash out, clean, organize your stuff, things like that. Just 10 minutes can really make a big difference. Thank you. Anything else? What are the good conditions you can make to earn extra spiritual protection?
This is my experience from pre-fundraising, but when you're a co-driver, well, just while you're fundraising, you'll be given a lot of responsibilities, especially at the end of the day. When you're a co-driver, your mission is the co-driver. You can't be doing anything else. So just remember that. So your job is to support the driver. If you do have a different responsibility, then you shouldn't be in the co-driver's position because your focus is the driver and the road. That's it.
Thank you. Good point. Very good point. Thank you. Thank you. Who was your captain? Taka. All right, Taka. Good brother. All right. Anybody else? What are the good conditions that you can make to earn extra spiritual protection from Heavenly Father and Spirit world? Yes. Come on up. Share with us. Thank you. Holy song. Do you know holy songs, they have spiritual power? Do you know? You're not sure. It's another subject. I'm not going to go into it. But holy songs, they have spiritual power. That's why we sing. Music has spiritual power. It can bring good spirit world, and it can bring kind of weird spirit world too. Be careful what you listen to. Music is like a spiritual food to your spirit body. You are what you eat, and you are what you listen to sometimes. All right, thank you. Anything else? What kind of good conditions that you can make to earn spiritual protection from Heavenly Father and absolute good spirits? I'm sorry? Be on time. Yes, be on time. Thank you. Those are, be on time. Yes. And that's actually very important. Please be on time at your right pickup places. It's important, everybody. Really. Okay? Can you try your best? Be on time for your pickup and be at right place. Okay? And as you saw in this video, texting and receiving a phone call can be destructive for captains, drivers, team leaders. So if you can be on time at right place, you don't have to text your team leader. You don't have to call your team leader. Right? And you don't have to distract your team leader. Are we on the same page? Everybody? Of course, there's a situation. Something happened. You probably got kicked out of the parking lot, so you across the street. Things like that, that's okay. You can text or call. But other than that, be on time, be at the right place. That's it. And you don't need to call or text. Aju? Keep it simple and easy for your team leaders, please. Anything else? Thank you. Very simple, but very important. Yes? Picture of true parents. Thank you. Aju. I'm sure we will have pictures of true parents in each vehicle. Yes? It's an extra point to earn spiritual protection. Yes, anything else? So we covered prayer, safety pledge, true parents picture, be on time, in the right place, holy songs. What else? Maintenance. Thank you. Maintenance. Team leaders, they are trained to do basic maintenance before you leave in the morning. And they will train you how to do things. For example, how to check the tire pressure, how to check oil, motor oil, how to check brake fluid, steering fluid, coolant, transmission oil, things like that. Okay? That's something very basic, but it's important. And do the walk around of the van. Make sure there's no nail in the tire. Last year we had few incidents. We had nails in the tire. So pay attention. Go around. Just spend 30 seconds, 1 minute, and make sure everything's okay. There was one incident last year. We were missing front number plate when they came back from fundraising. And I asked team leaders, what happened? I don't know. When did that happen? I don't know. Team leaders did not know. So I had to go to DMV, get new plates, And there was another incident. There was a graffiti on a van. So I asked the team leader, when did that happen? Where did that happen? I don't know. It was there. So, okay. Your van, whose vans are they? Whose vans are they? God's van? Angel's van? Ours? They're all correct answers. But technically, really, whose vans are they? Those vans, if you see registration, it's under HSA UWC. What's HSA UWC? Yeah, that's the church. So, who is the head of HSA UWC in America? That's an engineer. So it's safe to say those vans belongs to engineer, true family, and therefore those vans are God's property. Are we on the same page? Yeah. They're not mine. They're not Roland's. They're God's property. So with that kind of heart, you must have respect for the vehicle and love, and you have to care for the vehicles. Can we do that? Yes. Okay. When engine comes and, you gotta be ready to invite engine into your van. That might be a tough one. Okay? But I tell you something. If you do your best, even 10 minutes a day, to keep it clean, if engine comes, I know she can feel it. That you are trying. You are making effort to keep it clean. That you have a respect and love for the vehicle. Engine will feel it. You think so? Yeah. But if you don't have that kind of attitude, and if the van is really dirty and not cared for, the engine will feel that too. Right, everybody? Love and respect for public property. It's Heavenly Father's vehicle. Aren't you? Okay. What else? What can you do to earn extra spiritual protection from Heavenly Father? Anybody? Yes? Living for the sake of others. Thank you. Yeah. It is true. That kind of attitude will bring heavenly spiritual atmosphere to your van. Yes?
Some people write like little True Father's words on the vans with like markers and stuff.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah. The God's word is to remind you, right, about something important. But facing front in a van, the right side windows, please keep them clear, because drivers, they have to see over the shoulder, and sometimes they need to make split-second decision, and those windows has to be clear. Okay, everybody? So no pictures, no writing on the right side. Left side, okay. Can we do that? Yeah, it's safety procedure. But thank you. God's word is very important. Anything else? Tea time. So what time is it? Oh, it's almost 6 o'clock. And Tan has to speak too. Okay. He has a legal issue. Couple more minutes, okay? What about unity? What about unity? What about love? Live for the sake of others. What about the love? Actually, unity and love as brothers and sisters in a van will be the ultimate protection. Okay? We call ourselves van family. Van family. Create unity and love as brothers and sisters in a van. That will be the most powerful conditions that you can make to earn extra spiritual protection from Heavenly Father. Are you? Any questions? Any comments? We have a lot more to discuss, but time is up, and I'd like to invite Tan. He's our operation coordinator. Without him, GPA will not function. As a man behind the scenes, the hardest working man,
Okay, I'm going to be constantly looking at my cell phone because I'm going to try to get you out here by 6:15, okay? So please bear with me. Okay, so I prepared this presentation. My name is Tan Lei. I'm the Administrative Operations Coordinator for GPA. You see me running around sometimes. I'm sorry I haven't taken time to really speak to any of you. But talking about financials, legals, also have to share a little bit about myself as well. So can I next?
Thank you, Victor.
So we start with the tree of kind of my life. Next. I chose this tree because it's nice. This is my roots. Next. So these are my parents. They got married in Vietnam. My parents are Vietnamese. They raised me Vietnamese. So they got married. My father is 30. My mom is 22. And this picture here in Vietnam. Next. And whenever I talk about my roots, I always have to talk about my parents because they're where I came from. This is my parents 2 months ago in front of the New York hotel. They attended the graduation gala. I don't know if some of you saw them there. Wow. So my father's here, he's 61 now, my mom is 53. Next. And so we go to my family. Next. I was born and raised in Indiana. South Bend, Indiana, the only worthwhile place to go. And this is my house in the fall, and that's my house in the winter. Next. So I'm on the right, my brother's on the left. My brother is 6 years older than me. He was born in 1980 in Vietnam. I was born in 1986 in Indiana. And this is my grandma and my grandmother. I had 3 generations in my family, and it's a very precious experience having 3 generations in your family. Next. So this is us actually in Canada. Just visiting Canada with family. Anyway. He wasn't even grabbing the pole. Next. And this is my family in San Francisco last year. Just visiting San Francisco. Next. And so we go a little bit more into myself. Next. When I was 5 years old, I was a girl. Next. And when I was your age, I looked like this. I did all this stuff with some long hair face. I don't know what's going on. I used to tie it in a ponytail or tie it in a bun, and it was down to here. I grew it out 2 years, I think. 2.5 years I grew it out. Big black hair. Anyway, next. And this is my favorite picture with my mom. This was during college. I went to college at a university where my mom... Say what? Oh, my mom? Yeah. She's maybe 43 in this picture? No, wait. She's 53 in this picture. I'm sorry. This restaurant that I like quickly, there's this restaurant that I like in a casino, and so I was walking to a casino, and I had to show my ID to get in, and then they looked at my mom, and was like, ma'am, where's your ID? I was like, Mom, do you have your ID? And she was like, oh, that's your mom? Anyway, so I graduated from the University of Notre Dame in 2009, and my mom works there, so I would eat this, my favorite experience, so for 4 years, I would eat lunch almost every day with my mom. Next. So my awakening, I joined the church 4 years ago. Yeah, that means I'm first generation. My parents aren't members, my family is members. This is my spiritual mom, her name is Michael Shimagawa, in California. You know her? She is in San Diego right now. She has one daughter that's 1 or 2, and then 1 more on the way that's going to be born anytime next month. So, yeah, next. And this is my course. I did fundraising for 2 years, and I did witnessing for about 3 or 4 months. My favorite product was flowers. We also sold teddy bears. Next. This was me last year. I was able to go to Korea and Japan. Represent our GPA with the GPA jacket and the UC hat. Next. And this is me at Jimjilbang with Jay, playing chess just a few months ago. But kind of looking in this next year, I'm still working for GPA, I'm still looking to do amazing things, and also taking some time for myself as well. So next. So we always do presentations with Hundoke. I heard somewhere that you always begin a presentation with Hundoke. Well, I need a bridge between what I wanted to talk about and between my testimony, so we're going to do a little Hundoke. So this is one of my favorite speeches by Father in the 1970s. It's called Faith and Reality. I don't want to read this too fast, but I'm good. I still got 16 minutes. Can you believe that? Went through my whole life story in like 4 minutes. Anyway, if you bear me, some say I have a good Hundoke voice. Faith and reality. The life of faith does not depend on the concrete, visible reality of this physical world, but has to do with the invisible God. We are living in a world of practical reality, so we have to deal with practical issues on this earth. However, the life of faith belongs to another realm, and we cannot apply the same standards or deal with the same issues. Next. In this world, we all seek happiness and joy. We as individual beings can never find happiness. But we need some other element with which to bring it about. Another person, material things, an intellectual goal. We can apply certain criteria to everything in the world. Unless we are finding other things or people that stimulate us and make us happy, we cannot make progress in life. Next. In other words, we find happiness through something objective which stimulates us. In our academic life, we are happy as we pursue intellectual reality. But happiness comes over a period of time as we strive to reach a high goal or ideal. The problem always is, how can I establish a relationship between myself and my object that will bring happiness? Next. Unhappiness, depression, and despair will be produced whenever we fail to maintain the proper relationship with our object. In order for us to continue living, it is absolutely necessary to have a continuous and positive objective stimulus. All of the elements of success and failure develop around this kind of relationship. So essentially, God created because God needed an object. You cannot advance, you cannot have happiness, you can't have anything without a relationship. Everything is based in relationships. And so I'm going to talk about finances and legal because those are also relationships as well. I guess I'm kind of famous for integrating both your internal life of faith into the external world. Next. So this is the GPA profit and loss summary of 2011-2012. This is what I kind of look at. It's just numbers and income and expenses and things like that. I did not, kind of a disclaimer, I did not study business in college. I studied anthropology. I studied Japanese. I love talking about culture, and I love integrating people from different cultures around the world. I do not like business. I do not like finances. But this is what I do. But I'd rather talk about culture in business. I'd rather talk about how business affects human people's lives. I don't like talking about numbers. But this is what I do, so. Next. So I broke it down for you a little bit more. There's something called income, total amount of income, total amount of expenses. I'm going to talk about you. I'm going to tell you about, talk about you. I'm going to tell you about all the amount of income, the amount of expenses that happened from GPA from 2011 to 2012. So second year, that's your first year. Next. We have two sources of income.
Sorry.
You're going backwards. Okay, next. We have fundraising results. So the total result from September 15, 2011 to June 15, 2012 is, next, $2,440,913.30. Give it up for our second year! So this is their blood, sweat, and tears, and they were able to gross more than the few years before them.
Yeah, beat
So
that.
I guess after the new 3-module system was introduced. Back then it was just straight fundraising, so they made more. Okay, next. And then there's also their tuition fees from their parents' investment, $332,144.68. Next. You can clap for that. That's cool. So, back one. And so, once again, we're looking at income and expenses. So we're going to go into expenses next. And there's multiple profiles where our expenses come from. So we grossed about a total of $2.7 something million last year. Our total expenses about what? $2.7 something million in expenses. So where did all that money go? Well, let's go next. Overseas service module programs total about $823,372.03. Next. Staff and payroll expenses. Yes, we're paid staff, we get paid, we have to take care of our family, especially, I don't have family yet, but Rolling Young and all the core staff back there, they paid $590,897.40 for payrolls and expenses. Next. Vehicles, insurance, repairs, gas, and tolls. That totals $417,209.51. Next. Food, we feed you $360,402.20. Now, if we budget for each person for each day is $15, if we were able to subtract $1 from your budget, we would save $40,000 for the year. Wow. Third year. Okay. Next. So the total amount of expenses is $2.7 million. The total amount of income is $2.7 million. That means we're able to break even this past year. We always went into debt like every year in the past STF GPA history, except this past year. So my job is to make sure we don't go bankrupt, and that we have a program next year for your younger brothers and sisters, and also for non-unificationists, in the future. And so we're creating a sustainable program with staff, with all these fun things that we're doing. Okay, next. So I'm gonna go into legal. This is a picture of my dad in Times Square. He's just goofing off. Next. So basically, there's only one. Anyone here ever deal with police before? There's only one rule that's necessary, and that's just be humble. Be direct, be clear. Listen to what they're saying when they say anything to you. It doesn't matter if you agree or not, they don't care. They only care if you do what they say, okay? And if you don't do what they say, then they give you a ticket. And a ticket's actually a negative result. Or what's worse, they could arrest you. And then it costs us about $2,000, $3,000 to get a lawyer for you. So that's negative result. $2,000, $3,000, sometimes that's 2, 3, or 4 days of your fundraising. So we don't want that to happen. We value your effort and your time, your blood, sweat, and tears. So we don't want to spend money on that when it's not necessary. And sometimes, who knows, it might be, but we try to avoid that as much as we can. So be humble when you meet with police. Fundraising in general. Fundraising is legal in the United States. It's a very encouraged thing to do. It's illegal in many countries around the world, so that's why we're really privileged, an amazing nation. That's why all these fundraising teams from Mongolia, Russia, Philippines, all over, they come to the United States to fundraise because it's allowed here. In their countries, it's not. So we're really, really blessed to be living in this country and to support pretty much the worldwide providence as well. So when you're meeting with police, fundraising in itself, fundraising on private property is acceptable until they tell you not to do it. Okay? It's not illegal until they say it's illegal, and then you have to leave the property. But they don't say anything, keep doing. Okay? So if you have a fundraising like a Walmart parking lot or something, and security, that car that drives around does absolutely nothing. Ever see that thing? Anyway, they drive around, right? And they tell you to stop, then please stop and go to another property. Otherwise, okay, security, one thing about them is that you kind of have to feel sorry for them. Because they have a horrible job. All they do is just drive around, or just sit around, or mainly they spend their time texting or on the phone for like 10 hours a day. And they just go to work, get their paycheck, and go home. That's it. Sometimes they're trying to protect people. They are there, and they are a presence. They are that kind of security. But when something actually happens, they can't really do anything. Because they can't actually touch people. They don't have the ability to do that. If they touch you, you say, "Don't touch me," and then they have to let go. But what they can do is that, for our sakes, what they can do is they can call the police. So if you piss off security, they'll call the police. And then they can actually ticket you, arrest you, and do all those things we don't want them to do to you. Okay? So be nice to security, listen to them, be humble to them, but don't be objective to them. Okay? Don't be their object. Don't make, never mind, I'm not gonna talk about this. But, so we want to keep this attitude of humility. You know, what is this? Jesus says, go quietly. So knowing that we are God's sons and daughters, we don't want to just become self-righteous. Sometimes when the police start saying, "Hey, what are you doing?" "I'm fundraising for God and true parents. We're making money to save this world." That's pretty self-righteous. They won't understand any of that. There's no place for that. Okay? Because they don't understand. So Jesus says, go quietly. And so go quietly, knowing that we are God's sons and daughters, knowing that we are going to further God's will. And so being humble. Don't be self-righteous. Don't be arrogant. Listen, and then reply the best way you can. Be honest. There's no reason to lie. I know sometimes I'm fundraising, and then I've got all this area, and then the police comes and they're like, "Get out of the city." I was like, what? That means, if you think about it, that means your team lead has to come back, pick you up, take you to another city, and that wastes a lot of time. Whereas if you can try to lie, you'll be like, "Oh, I'm not fundraising, I'm just walking around something." It doesn't really work. Just be honest and keep going. What's even more, furthermore, you don't even know if they're gonna stop you or not. They could even support you. They'd be like, "Oh, that's awesome, go ahead." And then then you can walk with full authority from God, saying that you really come as the Messiah into the city, something like that. Then it's like, "Oh, the police said I can do it." So then anyone to tell you, "Hey, you're not supposed to be here. He told me to do it." That feeling is so good, you know. It's amazing. So That's who you really want to be. You really want to be humble. You really want to know that you're God's sons and daughters, and you really want to go forth with strong conviction. Next. All right, thank you very much.
Talk about fundraising to get you guys prepared. So let's welcome out the fundraising skit team. sure she had a lot of experiences that were amazing during fundraising, and she's here to share them with you. So please welcome up Amy Harper.
It's kind of like titled Calling Out to Our Father. And yeah. So a lot of times when you go out on a run, at the beginning you guys will be partners. So won't feel too lonely, but after a while you're going out there alone and getting rejected alone, and you have like nobody to like, no one like a physical person there to really lean on or to like kind of have your back. But one thing that I realized in fundraising is that even if we're going out alone, that we really have our Heavenly Father there with us. And yeah, I'm just gonna read a little hymn, okay, that helped me realize this point. It says, it's from Children of Our Heavenly Father. It's a really good hymn, okay, I'm sure you guys will read it. It says, if you were in the position of the Father, would you love a child who just clings to you for 24 hours without even letting you sleep? If you are loving and concerned about your Father, even if you irritate him and even if you prevent him from doing anything else, he is forced to be concerned with you or love you in return. The same thing is true with God, our Heavenly Father. And yeah, we read this like on a morning before going out. And I was really thinking about this, and I was really struggling, like going out by myself, and just going out there and not really feeling like connected to God or Heavenly Father. So that day, I made my goal to irritate God with love. Irritate God with love. Yeah, and I really wanted to constantly be calling out God and constantly being like. Omani, like everything that I could do, I just wanted to give out to two parents, or to Heavenly Father, because kind of backtracking a little bit, like a month before this, we got to go to Vegas and attend True Father out of Hindo K. And it was an amazing experience. I was like literally like 3 feet away from True Parents, and they were just sitting there. And that day, Hyung Junim was giving a exhibition of his like kung fu-ness, martial arts. And so we were just watching it, and then after he went, some of the Korean leaders went, and there's this one guy who went out there, and then he started like yelling like, "Abuji!" like really like crazy. I mean like really cool, but like he was just like yelling with his whole heart, right? And Father was just there, and he said, "Wigre," which is like what in Korean? It's like, what do you want? And that really like stuck in my heart. Like he was calling out to Father, right? He was like, "Abuji!" And the reason he did that was because he felt like he could gain spiritual power from calling out Father's name. But like, of course, when he was usually doing that in his dojang or whenever he was practicing, Father wasn't there to answer back. But this time, Father was there, and he's like, "Wigre," like, I was like, "What do you want?" And I really felt like each time we call out to True Father, each time we call out to God, that they're going to be answering us back every single time. So that's really what my goal was for this run. I was just going to call out True Father and Heavenly Father and Heavenly Mother's name as much as possible. I was like starting out, and it was kind of like spacey. Like there wasn't so much area after other, and so I like started singing songs like Oma Oma Appa Appa Oma Appa, and like all this like stupid stuff, you know, like all kind of like running through my area, like Omaji Omaji Omani Omani, like stuff like that. I probably look crazy, but it's good. We're on GBA, right? Anyway, so yeah, so throughout the whole day, I was just kind of calling out to Heavenly Father and Heavenly Mother, and yeah, and each time I just imagined True Father answering back, "Wiggle," like kind of annoyed that I'm calling so much. I'm like irritating God, but like no matter how many times I called, no matter how many times we asked God to be there with us, every single time God's going to answer back. And so yeah, I was going through my run, and like approaching people, and then like some people would reject me, that's what I thought, was rejecting me. But then I called out to God each time I got rejected, like, Abaji! And I realized that these people aren't rejecting me, but they're rejecting God. And I just felt like I could see his face, God is so tired after years and years of working hard to just bring us back, to bring us back to him. Someone once said that every day God's internal goal is to make us feel his love. Every day he's just trying to reach out to us. He's just trying to make us feel love, That's why every day we get to wake up to a sunrise, to trees, to a blue sky, And I don't know, I just realized that God was reaching out to these people through me, and when he gets rejected, that's like his internal goal, like his goal being just shut down. And I could just see I don't know how to explain it, but someone who's been working all day, like a dad that just came back from laborious work, like maybe construction work, and he's all kind of messy and just kind of grungy or whatever, and he's just sitting down in a rocking chair. Okay, this is my image, but and he's just sitting there and just kind of tired, closing his eyes, reflecting, and then I call out, Abuji, Amoni, right? And even though God is so tired and he's been working so hard for so long, but I can see, he's just, yeah, wake it, how can I be there for you? And once I could really see that perspective, once I could see God was suffering so much by every single rejection, it just made me want to keep going and finding that one person that would say yes to God, right? So I just keep going and approach another person, and they say, of course, yeah, here's a donation, And God is just, I don't imagine God's face just kind of of course, happy, but at the same time, he still can't forget the people that said no. No matter how many people restore, God is going to be joyous and really celebrate. But we have to remember that God won't be happy until everybody's with him, back with him. So yeah, anyways, that's kind of something I realized, that a lot of times we go out with partners and we feel so much support, right? From that person, yeah, we can do this together. But a lot of times we forget God when we're by ourselves, and that God is actually there right next to us, doing all the approaches with us, going through everything, going through every single emotion that we go through. God is going to be there and just trying to comfort you, but we should also really try to comfort God's heart too. And yeah, just to finish this off, I just want to read one God's word that really, really helped me through fundraising. One second. It's in the, okay. It's in Challenge and Victory. It's the last paragraph. You guys will read this too a lot. It says, try to focus on today, on this very moment, and if you are the victor in your heart right now, you'll be victors after going through the entire course. So what this means is kind of before you go out for a run, you have to decide, or every morning when you wake up, you have to decide if you're going to make that day great. You have to decide if you're going to totally invest into that day. And if you decide right at the moment, right at the beginning of the day, then no matter what comes up, no matter what challenge comes up, you can remind yourself, I made a promise at the beginning of the day that this day is going to be awesome. And not just every day, but also this year. You guys are here at this kickoff workshop. If you guys don't decide now that you guys are going to totally invest, it's not going to happen. So I really, really encourage you guys, just take time, just make a promise to yourself, make a promise to God, that this year we're going to totally invest. Me too, I'm trying to make this determination for the second year, that we are going to completely invest into this year. Because if we don't make the decision now, if we don't decide to be victors now, then at the end of the course, at the end of the year, we're not going to be victors. So please, be determined and really try and, just totally give God your commitment that this year, we're going to invest! Woo!
Thank you, Amy. Let's give her another round of applause.